Topic Tuesdays. Glenn and Reed here from Hawaii Trading Academy. We put together this Trading Topic Tuesday for you guys, our members, and we dive in with different trading topics, whether it could be from the brokers and platforms, trading time frames, candle formations, trading psychology, how to get into the flow state. We did a book review last week with trading in the zone, sharing our highlights and takeaways, and explaining how we use the material in the book and apply it to our trading journey, right? Um, this week we're going to be covering a fresh piece of content: gambling versus trading. It's been an ongoing debate. I've been asked many times personally if trading is gambling, and hopefully tonight we're going to be able to clear up the differences, because it is not the same, right? Not the
Oh,
same. Yeah. So I'm going to be sharing my screen. You guys can see that, right?
yep.
Just move this. So trading versus gambling. Now, when the word gambling comes up, what comes to mind for a lot of, especially local people, yeah? What comes to mind there? Gambling.
Vegas, baby, Vegas.
Vegas, fan. Ninth Island. I found this cool graphic. You
Oh,
got the waves, and then you got California Hotel over there. So
uh,
definitely, uh, Hawaii or Las Vegas is a go-to for a lot of Hawaii residents for when it comes to gambling, right? It comes to gambling. And this is a cool, just a summary, a visual summary of the differences between the gamblers and the traders, right? You just see up top, we got the kid, he's all excited, and then second phase, he's like focusing, like, right, going through the emotional roller coaster, and then at the end, he was wrong in his bet, and now he's just angry, upset at the world because why? Um, Probably bet too much money. He probably didn't make the right decision. Wasn't sound. Wasn't clear in mind. He couldn't accept the loss. What else? What else? The gambler,
angry,
angry. Gambling
mad,
buyer's remorse.
letting emotions run rapid.
Yeah. Well, on the other end, Mona Lisa over here, you got the win. Flat face, neutral face, break
Neutral.
even, neutral, losing, neutral. Now that is a goal, right? Not we're not saying every trader is gonna be like that. We've had our experiences with that, and we're all human
Definitely.
at the end of the day, right? And we have emotions. So gambling, the definition: taking risky action in the hope of a desired result. Just to sum it up, a lot of people know what gambling is. People gamble when they're in school, making side bets. You gamble on the game. Super Bowl's a big one, right? People gambled on the presidential election.
Wow, really? I mean, I could see it happening, but I don't know anyone personally. That's funny.
They did. They did. My
You could
coworker
gamble on
did.
anything nowadays for
Yeah,
sure.
exactly, exactly. So I'm sure if there's a different choice to be made, there's probably Vegas is out there creating some odds. Yeah. So just some highlighting characteristics of gamblers, right? Gamblers, they want it now. They need it now. Traders know how to take time. We're going to be sharing a little difference between the two of characteristics, right? So traders know it will take time. They will know it takes time to learn. Takes time to find your edge. Takes time to increase your mindset, or allow yourself to be like Mona Lisa and just calm all the time. Gamblers do not have delayed gratification, right? That's a out the door, out the window. I want it now. There are two different addictions: gambling addiction, trading addiction, right? Some people can't stay away from watching the game or looking up, info about their team. Got the ESPN alert. I know people who has the ESPN alert and it rings more than their phone. Now, that is a red flag, bruh. Your ESPN alert should not be ringing more than your phone. That means you're not closing enough deals or you're not talking to the right people, man. Trading addiction, same thing. When I started out, freaking what do you call that? Chart porn, almost, right? You just gotta
Oh
like
yeah.
nonstop look at every single candle, put up, buy as much screens as you can, set up your whole trading. You download all of the trading apps on your devices. Start taking your kid's iPad. Be like, I need this. Load up a pair on there, right? Any things that comes to mind, Reed, for you,
Yeah,
like when you were
actually, yeah, I
addicted?
have a really trippy story I caught myself in one day, like not recently, like a while ago, years ago, was like I'm restless and I just want to look at the charts. So the point that there's one point where I actually just grabbed my phone and I looked at the charts, and just looking at it made me feel good, which was so weird. And I was like, whoa, this is weird. And then I realized, that was an addiction. It was a habit of me wanting to always look at the charts, always look at something moving. So that was I had no idea that it was an addiction or that it could be an addiction at the time. So something to keep in
Yes.
mind. Yeah. When
Yep.
it gets like that, be careful.
Yep.
Don't place a trade in that state of mind.
Hmm. Hmm. Side note, write that down. Both makes us feel good, just like Reed shared. It made him feel good. It makes me feel good to look at the charts. Sometimes I'll catch myself just logging on just to look at some numbers rather than scrolling through social media. You know, um, and the difference between the two is the intention, right? The intention when you step into the casino, their intention is to keep you there to gamble, keep spending your money, keep buying up whatever they're offering you. Um, they're extending your stay, giving you a few free nights, right? Loading you up. They're like just feeding you drinks on the house, blah blah blah. You get free play money. What else do they have? They'll
Free
upgrade your
drinks,
room.
rooms,
Yeah, hook it up with a
services,
show.
food. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The market doesn't care. On the other end, right? Casino market. Market will not offer you free drinks. They always say there's no free meal on Wall Street or whatever that saying is. You know, the casinos constantly their intention is to go keep you spending money in there, so they're gonna pull up all the stops. You're gonna have the a big thing is the personnel there, the staff, right? You got the casino managers, and they're in the hospitality business. Okay, they know how to take care. Our brokers are not in the hospitality business. They can care less.
No.
They ain't calling us up. Hey, you need help with anything today? Can I get your
The only,
bags?
the only reward you get in the market is the profit that you're able to capture.
Making
Like,
good trades, yeah.
yeah.
Making good trades, man. There you go to the next. So if you label yourself a trader, you gotta try and start changing your language, right? Delete the word gambling from your dictionary. To continue on this direction, we're discussing the differences between a gambler and a trader. So if you use the word gambling, you're already skewing your perspective as a trader, right? Gambling can be an emotional decision maker. Same for trading. You can trade off of emotions, 100%. Um, but gamblers, a lot of them, they go for high risk over a short period of time in hopes to get a high reward, because that's what they all want. They all want the home run. Um, and you're kind of seeing the correlation today too in altcoins or crypto space. There's a lot of those people out there just pouring in tons of money in hopes that it will go to the moon. So trading, the goal is to help minimize risk over time while increasing your profits, right? There's that's aka your edge. Your edge. So yes, there are professionals in both fields and there are amateurs in both fields, right? So the question is like, where do you fit in? Are you the amateur trader, a gambler, or are you the professional gambler slash trader? You want to go over this, Reed?
Yeah, this is an
Nice.
awesome graphic. It's
Yeah.
I made it, but I got a lot of ideas from the internet that's already made. So let's go. We'll just hit every notch. Taking a loss. When you take a loss, in the beginning, you try to look for others to blame. Oh, Glenn told me to take this trade. You know, he was saying how good the market looked, and I took it and it lost. That's not on me. That's on him. But it's your fault. As a trader, you take that responsibility, you learn from it, and you move on. You accept it that you made that choice.
Yeah.
Same thing with taking profit. Oh, profit. Oh, man, Glenn told me to take this trade, but I knew this trade was going. I knew that it was good. I made the money. Like Glenn kind of just sprinkled the little salt or sugar on top. It wasn't him. It was me, you know. But real traders are like, hey, learn from it. You move on. Awesome. I got the profit. Okay, on to the next. You move on, maybe take a little notes. Oh, I could have squeezed out a little bit more profit, or my stop was too big. You know, there's things to learn in both scenarios. As far as trading approach is a plan. Gamblers, um, amateur gamblers, they mainly go in with no plan. They just throw the money at the table, roll that dice card, or as far as trading, they place the trade blindly without an edge and hope, fingers crossed. Like Glenn said, keyword is hope that the trade works out. Whereas use a plan as a trader, which is that edge. A plan is having that edge. Fourth point is thoughts about money. So usually with gambling, we covered this, you know, gamblers, they want it now. They need it now. It's really short-term thinking. I want to turn this $500 into $5,000 overnight. You know, that's the gambler mentality. Like even when you have a small account, you're like, man, look how much so-and-so was able to convert X amount of money. And let's say it was a real trader and he has a real track record. Even though you're going in that mindset of look how much he had and what he converted it to, that's you're going in with a gambling mindset because you want to reach a specific monetary goal. Whereas a trader really knows that it's a patient and calm game. I need to be patient when I enter the markets. I know that money will come as long as I follow that strategy, and we're thinking long term. The next point is after the day. What do you do after the trading day? Is are you feeling happy? Oh, today, man, I killed it with the market. You know, like I could take the rest of the week off. Or are you feeling sad? Oh man, today was rough. You know, I don't want to trade the next 2 days. That I mean, there's degrees here, but as far as like what you're doing after a win or a loss is traders are going into the market, going back into that decision that they made and back testing, journaling. Maybe you want to tweak your plan. You go ahead and back test. Make sure you journal that trade. After that trade's complete, you want to categorize that type of style that you just did and see how it works out in the long haul. As far as risk, gamblers tend to have little to no risk or risk management. They extend their stop loss or they don't have any risk management at all. They just let the trades run. Whereas a professional trader, they want to mitigate risk as soon as possible. So in accordance to their plan. So if the trade's running a profit, now I could scale my position higher or move my stop closer to my take profit. So it just depends on your plan. But overall, we want to mitigate risk. We are risk managers in the end before we are traders, actually.
Yeah.
And finally, before a trade, you know, a lot of traders, I find myself sometimes like getting excited and I have to calm myself down, get into the right proper mindset, get back into that zone and be like, okay, am I making the most logical decision here based off of my plan? And so it's really gamblers, you know, they allow that emotion to drive their decisions. Whereas a trader is, you know, it's really boring. It's a boring game. Like a lot of marketers don't want you to know that, but trading is a boring game, but it's a methodical game. If you're following your plan, it's not exciting, you know. But um, I don't know. Glenn and I kind of we find it exciting regardless if it's boring, right? There's a market's always exciting. But overall, we want what a trader does to sum up everything is
Yeah.
a trader takes ownership of all their decisions they make, and they take ownership of how successful they are or how or lack of success. And I mean that could be profits, that could be um just showing what is the word I'm looking for? Like
Accountability? No.
no, like you know,
Ownership.
like just because you don't make profits doesn't mean that you're not growing as a trader. It could look like maybe I'm losing less this year, or maybe I'm journaling more this year. That's
Perspective.
also,
Perspective.
yeah, it's all
Yeah.
perspective. But that's essentially that's it. Take ownership of our choices as traders. It's a big one for me. How about you?
Yeah.
Got anything to add, Glenn?
Love that. I love that. The like a lot of it has to do with just the personal view, and the emotions, the mindset, the perspective. That's where I feel like a lot of these things come from, you know. And so I think it just shows, like this is like a snapshot showing what the evolution of a trader, you know, on the way they think. And it's interesting. We all start off at the a lot of us start off on the red side. Tell you that.
We don't even know. We don't realize it at the time, too.
You don't, right? You think
Yeah.
you're we're approaching it the way we're thinking the market is gonna be, and ready to get her serve some humble pie by the market, man.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. Great. So some takeaways with this whole idea of gambling versus trading. Um, the key is to minimize risk while maximizing reward. How can you, as a trader, just continue to protect the capital and grow it, right? At the end of the day, not even just financial capital, your money. You still gotta protect your mental capital, and that's a big thing too. If you aren't performing right, just think of yourself like an athlete, right? If you got that big game and you're not thinking right, it's not gonna work, right? You can be the best player in the game, best skills, but if your mind's not there, your mental capital's not there, then it will not follow, right? So gamblers have fewer ways to mitigate losses than investors do. Gamblers, like my experience in gambling in Vegas, it's a lot. It's like, okay, you almost like risk one to make point 0.5, or risk it all to make X amount. The bigger you bet, the bigger the payoff, of course. But over time, where does that lead you? You know what I mean? How can you scale your account with the gambling model? And so investors or traders, they do have unique and key ways to protect the capital and minimize the risk. And some people are way better than others in doing that. And you're gonna see um, there's a correlation, right? Like just cause like okay, you're gonna go into the market as a trader and you just want to risk the smallest amount. It has a direct correlation to how much uh, reward or return you're gonna make. You know what I mean? The smaller you risk in the market, the smaller gain. The bigger you risk, the bigger gain. Same thing, but there's different ways. It's very dynamic. You know, it's dynamic with mitigating your losses. Investors have more sources of relevant information than gamblers do. Um, if you're in the stocks, right, you're looking at fundamentals, looking at their company's cash flow, what they got in profit, what they made last year, their earnings, blah blah blah. Who's taking over CEO seat? Who's on the board? If there's other things coming up with their product release, if their product release gets delayed, if the iPhone, just because there's a shortage of microchips, maybe it won't get released on their day. Maybe it might affect their stock price. you know Same thing with the currency market for forex. governments making big announcements and big shifts on their direction they're doing. QE, quantitative easing, right? You got all those different things that um, traders use, right? They got the news coming up. They got all these special different channels, and it's all up to you on what you want to use, what you feel like is relevant to your trading style. And so over time, the odds will be in your favor as an investor, not your favor as a gambler. You ever heard of a veteran gambler
I
that
think
made it?
there's a I think when you are making money as a gambler, that turns into a professional player, right? I
Mm,
think that there's a difference between like people who actually uh use gambling as a form of income. So that's something there.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, and then then you just change your whole identity to a professional poker player instead of a
Yeah,
gambler.
yeah.
You know,
Or player, yeah.
right, right. So, at the end of the day, trading is a business, plain and simple. And we want to be professional about it. You gotta take it seriously. You gotta be wise. And the goal is to trade to compound your money over time. Don't fall for the get rich quick scheme, as a lot of people are out there scheming, and a lot of people are falling for the schemes, right? And
Yeah.
so our hope is to just help educate and help people realize, like, hey, it's out there. Be aware. Make the best decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Amen.
absolutely, man. Love that.
Good
So,
stuff, man. Good
yeah,
stuff.
that was to wind down that conversation there with the trading and gambling, man. Any final thoughts there?
Oh man, I don't know. Like I get told so much, or I get questioned, like, I put some money on this coin and I know it's gambling. I'm like, dude, yeah, you gambling. Like that's straight up. And well, I have conversations where like they're like, yeah, but isn't that what trading is gambling? No, man, it's not. And then I explain, a plan and an edge. But by that time I get into that conversation, I could tell by their body language that they're already zoned out. Like, uh-huh. So I heard about this coin. I'm like, did you just hear anything that I just said, man? So it's like you just laugh and you just like, all right, man, tell me about this coin. Go on.
You should be like, I'm creating a new one. It's called the Reed coin. I'll take investments right now.
Yeah, right. What's the difference between any other coin, right? Or any new coin? There's some with some good science behind it, no doubt.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Crypto is definitely moving in a crazy good direction.
yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, man, nah, like I couldn't defend my trading as trading back in the day, that's for sure. When I first got into it, I said my future dream job is to be a full-time trader. And
Right.
a guy literally laughed in my face and was like, "Oh my god, haha, that's hilarious." And he called someone over and was like, "Come here, this like Hicks." I was in the army, and he's like, "Hicks wants to be a full-time trader." And the officer laughed and was like, "Ha, that's a not gonna." I forget what he said really, but basically they were laughing and they were like, that's not gonna happen. I was a young kid too. I was like 22, 23. And they're like, don't waste your money, that's gambling and stuff. And I couldn't defend it at the time, like, no, it's not gambling, because I was still just trying to discover what an edge was and all that, but I knew what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
And now we can look back. Maybe those were two defeated guys that the market just whooped.
yeah, it could be.
They're just sharing their experiences,
Yeah,
and that's
it's life is dependent on the quality of questions you ask, and I wish I had asked more questions trade related, like how did you make that decision in the market? What decisions have you made in the market? So on and so on. But again, young kid coming into the markets, you don't know what to say. You just be like, okay, yeah,
oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, it's me starting out. I didn't even know what questions to ask, man. Like, You know, they
Yeah.
always have that question. If you were to sit down with so and so, what would you ask them? Dude, I don't know what to ask.
Same here, man. Can you trade my money?
Yeah, yeah. I don't even got no money. Just give me some money.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There you go. There you go. What questions do you have of me? Can I have 1 million?
Should be like, you should ask for 100. Oh,
100 million. Yeah.
oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's good,
man.
man.
What's good, John? How you been, bro?
How you doing, John?
Good, fellas. Just, trying to catch what you guys are talking about. As always, great topic, great content. Just kind of absorbing what you guys are saying. So yeah, good stuff. Just chilling, man. Just chilling. What
Appreciate you, man.
you guys been up
Nice.
Appreciate
to?
you.
Just
Yeah.
trying to get these funded accounts rolling. Waiting for my Forex fund to get back to me.
Oh, what they say? Did you finish it? I mean,
Yeah,
the
I
raise?
finished it. Everything passed. It's just I'm waiting for them to freaking send the email.
Time zones, man.
Dude, I keep checking it like every other hour. Like my email and the website.
Sometimes they take like they'll take 2 weeks sometimes, man. Like Top Step, they'll take like two
Yeah.
weeks.
Damn. Yeah.
Well, maybe 1 week. Sorry, maybe a week, cause you go sign over the papers and then
Oh
they'll
yeah,
give
you're
you a
right.
heads up.
It did take a
Seven
while now.
7 to 10 days, business days, and then their business day starts on Tuesday or something.
Oh, dude, yeah, you just made me think. I might get an email at 3 in the morning tomorrow
Yeah, wherever
because
time zone.
when I got the account login, it was like 3:30 a.m. for that I received the email with my login information. So
Nice.
I mean that was like, like 2 weeks ago, but
Mm, yeah, just gotta
yeah.
wait it out, dude. Wait it out. What do you think about Did you guys hear about the airlines, Southwest and all that?
Was it only, can you kind of relay the info? I heard like Southwest canceled a bunch of flights, but that's all like I really
So I'm
heard.
hearing some things where the media isn't covering, where a lot of the staff are walking out on their job because of the whole mandate vaccine stuff. And so a lot of the pilots, they have paid time off, and the deadline to get vaccinated was November, beginning of November, and so a lot of pilots timed it where like, oh, they're just gonna get paid off of their leave, and then whatever else happens. And so they're saying that even though like 55 or 60 flights got canceled yesterday, they're saying there's gonna be way more. There's gonna be way more coming in all the different airlines. So that's very
Short
interesting.
opportunity in the
Ah,
stocks.
what you
Let's
think?
go. You're just making me want to pull it out. Okay, let's see if what's Southwest
Ticker.
ticker?
What's their ticker?
Shoot, I don't even know, but I know American Airlines is AAL.
AL.
AAL.
Southwest is probably W something. I forgot.
What does
I'm curious too, man. Let me pull up my computer. I want to see what's going on. But
Good. Not
the overall market in general, bro. I mean, it's this was the ninth time that the major moving average, the 50 MA to be exact, has been tested, and it finally broke. And in the way that it broke, it's kind of, I like to call it rounding off, an inverse cup, if you will, right? Some people will call it head and shoulders. Some people call it, whatever pattern. But the fact of the matter is, there's some major resistance, and it needs time to continue the major bull trend that is. But in the meantime, the overall market's been turning over for some time.
Yeah.
I want to say for the past 2 weeks or so.
Yeah.
Whether it's whatever it's induced by, I'm seeing a lot of stocks: Facebook, Nvidia, Apple, Align. So many stocks just shorting opportunities. That is right.
For sure.
There you go.
Facebook
Nice.
still dropping, huh?
Was that Facebook?
Yeah.
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 LUV.
I
LUV is Southwest. Okay.
Got it right here.
Look,
This is what it looks like.
they're already, look at that gap down twice already.
Damn,
High.
I'm kind of liking it. Oh, this is nice, man.
Yeah, there was a lot of short setups, and like Myrna, I was able to get a good trend on that.
Oh yeah, are you in any positions right now, John? We were just Glenn and I were just talking if we were in any positions. I'm
Yeah,
not
what I'm looking
personally.
for, I am, I went huge on Upstart. It
Upstart.
had a very, very, very rare setup,
What is that?
which we call the power play, a UPST.
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 Yeah, UPST. It actually broke out today on the trend line on
Oh
the
yeah.
flag. Um, the thing
Nice.
about Upstart is that it checks off so many boxes. I'm not a fundamentalist, but it has strong fundamentals. Number one. Number two, it's a newer issue IPO that's only been around for a few years at best. Number three, it has a very, very
Okay.
strong prior trend. What I'm looking for is, in terms of power play characteristics, a move that is 100% or more in a very compressed time period of 8 weeks or less. And Upstart did just that.
Oh yeah.
And then when it pulled in and flagged, that correction is very shallow. It's I want to say what, like let me double check. I know it's like less than 25%, but it's just tight, very, very tight relative to the markets and how it's been moving. It's showing a lot of relative strength, a lot of relative strength. So this stock really could be a short-term play or even a longer-term play, depending on your style. But something that you can't really ignore is that strength. You know, in the price action and relative again to the market's overall action too. So yeah, Upstart it's still viable because some people will utilize textbook breakouts, which is the apex of that flag at 346.54. If they break that resistance, you can get in. But if you want to dissect the price action further and use a trendline breakout, that's in my opinion is a better entrance, better entry point. Sorry.
So they are
Yeah.
a lending platform, AI lending platform.
Oh
That's what Upstart
right.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's a few other setups too. When the market's down like that, what you want to see is a healthy basket of stocks that are setting up and getting ready to take off, if you will. And when it comes to a multitude of stocks, what you also want to look for is relative strength, meaning as a stock is pulling in, whether they're correcting, S&P, for example, 5, 8, 10%, 20%, you want to see individual stocks not correcting more than 25, 30% ish.
Yeah.
Right. And Upstart's one of them. BILL, one of them. It's setting up a very clean, low cheat play, whatever you want to call it, but the price
Which
action
one is
it's
it?
very
B
BILL.
B B is in boy.
Yeah,
Oh,
boy. Yeah.
good boy. Looking for a long position on this one?
Yes. A lot of these are long positions. But I would advise if you're newer into trading that you would take a long position on anything. Just be patient. Right. Okay. Just be patient and wait for confirmation that the overall market's turning back up. But as of now, it's kind of moving sideways, a little bit choppy.
Yeah.
For the most part, what's been happening is when there's any kind of strength, right, any kind of bullish movement on the intraday, it's shortly after the market opens, the first 90 minutes or so, or even towards the end of the market, the bears will take over and sell, into strength, into that. And it's really more of a slow grind kind of selling versus panic selling, which can people get caught up and really believe that, hey, there's hope, there's, whatever. But I don't go by that, man. I go by what's in front of me.
Yeah.
Staying in the present moment.
I got you.
Which all you really can do, until things really turn back up. But if you're more aggressive, the way I trade is I scalp into a swing, so that allows me to hold on to just an overnight position, just a few days or less. And for me, that I'm fine with that. I hit it, quit it, on to the next. Right?
Nice.
Which is a better approach for this market condition. This is not really the time to really hold on to anything multi days or multi weeks, in my opinion, unless you got a really good stock like Upstart, then I would really consider.
Yeah,
I
man.
like
Look at that. It's a good combination. Looks like Christmas.
yes, nice.
It's Christmas, but yeah, there's a good like there's winners in here. I mean, there's still green in here, so
What is this called? A heat map? What is this called?
this is well
What's the name of it?
yeah, it's a heat map on
It is a heat
Thinkorswim.
map, right?
On Thinkorswim.
Yeah, I think TradingView just added that feature too, man. That's
It's
pretty
pretty
trippy.
It's cool. So
Yeah, they have that on Finviz too.
yeah.
Another free site that you can scan for stocks. It looks pretty clean. But a lot of the greens that you're seeing are the sectors that are holding up that are strong, which is the energy sector and financial sector
Yeah.
and software sector. But again, in a market like this, you have to be very selective, and you have to be very tight on your risk management, as you guys mentioned earlier, in the talk.
Yeah.
Because that is a very very key, because we are essentially just all risk managers first and traders second, right?
True saying.
More so than ever when you have a market like this. It has to be very, very tight, very tight.
Do you focus on the stronger performing stocks, or do you just look at which one is being set up on the chart and then take a play there? Does that have any
Um,
influence?
yes, that's a great question. Definitely. The setups, I'll scan first, see what's setting up, but more
Yeah.
specifically, what I'll do too is scan the strong sectors and also scan RS stocks, a relative strength stocks.
Yeah.
And then from there, yeah, I kind of organize, my priorities, which is it a newer issue IPO type that's setting up a base? Is it a power play? Is it a stock with a large base with good fundamentals, so on and so forth?
Mm,
That's a whole lecture in itself. But I do prioritize the list of stocks that I scan. It's not just I see a setup and I take it. I want as much wind behind my back. I want the probabilities and odds in my favor.
yeah.
And to do that, you have to get into the right sectors, the right powerful setup, all that good stuff, which you guys all have too in your own system in some way, shape, or form.
Okay. I dig it, man. I got you. I like that.
What you putting down? Man, this is so cool. Heat map. Not as cool as charts though, but heat map's pretty sick. Like you could go into just click a box and
Yeah,
oh,
so
man.
it's interesting. We'll see how the airlines play out or whatever. I think there might be what travel industry, hotels maybe might be affected.
They keep blaming the Delta variant.
Bro, we don't know nowadays.
I mean,
Regardless of what they blame, what the chart shows is weakness freaking since
Overall.
May, bro.
Yep.
Since June, right?
yeah.
And that was a telltale sign already. And the way it's right now, you can, like, for example, American Airlines, you can draw, there's a weak structure short, and you can draw a trend line right now from like 1829 to 1985, around August to October. And if it breaks that trend line, you can get in on a short.
Yeah.
Is that a very important key level, or where the 200 MA is trying to cling on, price action is trying to cling on to that, and it looks like it's having a hard time doing that.
Human
But
it's all cyclic. All markets are cyclic.
cyclical.
Yeah, cyclical.
But yeah, long before anything's kind of put out in the news and all that, the charts almost always shows that well before anything comes out. And airlines has been kind of pretty weak for some time.
The more I look at it, the more I like the shortness of this position. Short bias.
Short bias.
Yeah, I mean, I was short bias like as soon as I pulled it up, but American Airlines specifically.
American AAL, right?
And it's funny that Southwest ticker is love.
How did it get that, man?
I don't know, man.
LUV, love.
I'm gonna love them if I could short it and get some money.
I don't love the airlines. I love shorting their stock.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, a lot of them all really the same. In my opinion, if you're going to short any of the airlines, go with the one with the best liquidity.
Yeah.
That way you get a good fill, and it's a smoother transaction.
Keywords. Love it.
Chat indicator. Is there one? Liquid.
Look at you. Well, you creating an airlines watch list now, Reed?
So there's this ETF, airline ETF called Jets. I was gonna buy it right when the airlines first opened because I figured like, you know, it's a good buy. Airlines should be going up. But I didn't like what I was seeing on the technical side, so I never entered it. And I mean, I didn't miss out.
Yeah, it didn't really move, huh?
Just too choppy. Yeah, I think like in June. When did they start opening shit again? Like
It was like August last year, September maybe.
oh, was that long ago? I guess I did. I mean, oh
Yeah,
yeah,
cause
okay. Looking back,
well, on
Jan
that
20.
chart it popped up in May, right? The Jets chart. If you look at it in May, last
Oh
May.
my god, I'm looking at freaking. Oh yeah, I am looking at Jets. Let me pull up what I'm looking at. So this is the daily. I'll just blast this. This is February. So it had a little bull run from February to beginning of March, or yeah, mid-March. Sorry. And then it just consolidated and then dropped. So I mean, yeah, it didn't. It's for a long. I like being in stocks longer than just this.
I've
But I mean,
never.
could have
Yeah.
made some good buys here. Could have been a good buy. But that's all hindsight, you know. You never know.
Never know.
No bueno.
Well, overall, October is, you know, coming up to be a good time just for overall market action, you know, whether it be bull or bear. Um, Lots of movement.
Yeah, a lot of volume coming back into the market.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All the government got to do is just hit another print button and just create trillions more.
That's why you got to buy crypto, man. At least it'll be around, I think. I don't know.
Oh,
Even a little bit.
You devalue as much, dude. That's crazy, man.
So I was talking to my crypto buddies, and they're saying like, doesn't it make sense for a government? Think what China did, right? So this is like all just me word vomiting, and we're just shooting the shit. So China bans Bitcoin, comes out with their own cryptocurrency, but for years leading up to this ban, right, they've been tanking their own market. Look at the whole Everglade biggest real estate in China kind of shit, right? It starts banning like really billionaires and a lot of good private companies. So then now you move to the US, like they're pulling out the same books similarly, where like they're just printing money, inflation's going up, and basically the dollar's kind of devaluating, right? Well, maybe they're doing that so then the people feel like they have the choice that, or the power to say, let's do crypto, let's do Bitcoin, when it was all planned, man. It was all
You
planned.
think?
Like, yes. And because if you didn't know, they're actually working on like a USD crypto based coin, a USD coin. But it's just like, you know, what is it going to be based off? And it looks like it's leaning towards Ethereum. Ethereum is the most established and secure network. So that's why Ethereum it's huge, man. That's what I think. It's a lot of these altcoins are based off of the Ethereum blockchain.
I came across this article.
Sure.
Where is it? Where is it? Federal Instant Settlement of Instant Payment. Okay. I didn't go through all of it, so this looks like a legit federal website, right? Federalregister.gov. Um, and so they're working on this thing called FedNow service. It's a new interbank real-time gross settlement service with clearing function to support instant payments in the U.S.
Ah,
Okay, so it's like they're creating. I think what the way I translate it, the government's creating their own PayPal. Yeah,
basically, yeah.
yeah,
What's it gonna
and
be built on?
so this was September 2020, and then where did I scroll? Where did I scroll? There's this company, payment payment.com. So they're looking to roll this out in like 2022 or something.
Okay,
And so
interesting.
this is the company or thing that they're calling it or working on with with the government. And where was it? The data. They have
Do
all
they have
these
an IPO?
studies. They have all these studies, right? So like it's tons of content. So like they're just summarizing 6.7 trillion of digital payments in 2021. That's a shit ton of money moving. Um, and all these things. And then where did I come across?
AI in
They,
focus.
they kind of summarized with two companies that has a direct uh, involvement. And so at that point, I was like, oh, I gotta go find it. But I was like, okay, now I gotta look for the tickers and then, start investing into these guys. Because,
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
the government said like 2023, they're gonna like look to roll this out.
And what do you think is gonna happen to lead up to this?
Yeah, I mean,
Financial, burdens, financial, they're gonna tank it a little bit to be like, we need almost it's universal
yeah,
coin.
yeah.
Because
So
yeah,
yeah,
man,
that's right. Like I think the missing piece of that, they're setting up the infrastructure. They need the actual
the
digital currency.
infrastructure. Very
The,
dude, that's key. Because like these banks aren't dumb. These people in Congress, although so many people hate the people in Congress, they're not dumb either. They're very intelligent and they know what's going on behind closed doors than 90% of the population. So I mean,
ooh, the
and like
adoption.
yeah, it's been proven that like people in Congress are literally saying no to Bitcoin when they have it in their portfolios. So I mean, like,
Who
I
got in
can't
their
name names.
portfolio?
Huh? Yeah.
Who got it in their
I can't name
portfolio?
names and stuff, but like they could trace like the wallets or something like that and like see who it's located. Or I don't know. I don't know if it's anonymous, but
You
all I
know,
know is that like for sure people in Congress have cryptocurrencies
and
and
this
they're
is
like
why it's
trying
so
to
important to follow the charts and what I call follow the money, because that doesn't lie. You know what I'm saying they
yeah,
can have an agenda and tell you one thing, but like we were just saying, dude, they're saying one thing, trying to ban shit, but at the same
follow the
time they're loading
money.
up. Follow the money, dude. Follow the money.
Exactly.
Follow the
So
money.
they're just like postponing it, pushing it back because when like you said, Glenn, they're trying to build that the foundations of everything, and then you'd be like, oh, you know what, it's legal, and by the way, we've had millions already saved. Like, I mean,
That's quick.
I
I
don't know,
mean, when I read 2023, they're looking to roll it out. I'm like, dude, wow, adoption is coming fast, man. Like,
dude. We live in a
how do
crazy fast age, man.
how do
Yeah,
we prepare for that, man?
I'm telling you, buy Ethereum at least. $100 here, $50 there, that's all, man. Minor.
Mine on my. What if it's not even that? What if the U.S. comes out with a U.S. digital coin? You know.
I really believe that's going to be the future. But the thing is, you got to ask is like, what will it be based off? Fuck, you know what? If you think about it,
Oh,
all the government has to do is pay these engineers and create us a blockchain, a secure blockchain. Now you have a government coin that you have to have
because
in order
okay,
to
so let me
purchase.
flip it, right? The what comes to
Yeah.
mind when we go to Ethereum, Solano, Cardano, they're kind of private, right? There's founders for those coins, right? And right now they're a private entity. Is that correct? Like kind of, or is it?
Ethereum
Is
and
it not?
Bitcoin is not.
Okay.
Solana has been proven that it's pretty centralized.
Okay.
And because if it was a private enterprise, it would be centralized. So like Bitcoin, Ethereum are not
Decentralized.
centralized.
Okay.
They're
Okay.
decentralized, yeah.
Okay.
So
So they just.
like technically, like I mean, private companies can have Ethereum, but they don't control Ethereum.
Hmm.
But as far as like, that's a good point because I don't know, like Bitcoin has a 21 mil cap, but like Ethereum, I don't know the cap limit. I don't know anything other than it's more advanced blockchain. Like think of it as like the future, whereas Bitcoin's gold. So like Bitcoin's always going to be worth something and it's like the standard of all, but it's just outdated kind of thing.
Yeah. 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 I mean,
They're
that's just gonna be a
trippy
question.
stories about crypto is so there's this place called Decentraland, right? And like a company's like building it, whatever. And you could literally buy real estate in the crypto space. It's not physical land, dude. It's digital land. So like you think I'm
Like
bullshitting,
Mike,
but check
is it Minecraft, bro? Minecraft.
you'd be surprised, dude. It's actually very, very similar to Minecraft. So this dude bought well, he was telling me, my friend, he was saying like I could have bought real estate for $1,700. And you got to translate to that to Ethereum. It's like half an Ethereum right now. And he said right now it's worth $7,000. The exact piece of land that he was gonna buy. I'm like, dude, this is trippy. And I'm like,
Yeah.
how does like what? I don't get it. Like I don't, because it's digital. Technically, land is it's in a digital space. You could keep adding.
I saw a
He knows a
video
lot
from
more.
Gary Vee. He summed it up very easily for me. With
Okay.
the whole NFTs, digital assets. Like, yeah, I don't know if you ever played a game, right? Like Fortnite, right? You can buy skins for your character. It doesn't
Yep.
give you any power up. It just gives you the look. You're buying. That's kind of like he kind of just directly compared it to NFTs or whatever. Like those, that's your digital asset that you forever own or have the license to own in that game. It doesn't exist, and so that in that way, in that sense, it was easier for me to wrap my head around. Like I used to game, have me and my wife used to be heavily gaming on this stupid mobile game. um it was called Game of War. It was years ago, and we spent thousands, dude, on this
Oh
stupid
yeah,
game. Okay,
yeah. I
and
remember you telling me this.
yeah,
Yeah.
and like we have our little base, shitty graphics. We're like, oh, that's me. Yup, I put all that money into me, and so, like, and maybe that's what the whole idea of owning that real estate. Like, here's a digital map of the land. You got this plot. You know.
But it's crazy, right? That game, it'll go away. It'll be outdated. I mean, even if they continue to add updates and stuff,
Yeah.
the game will fall
Change.
out of trend.
Yep.
Whereas in Decentraland, right? It's on the blockchain forever. So it's like forever gonna be there. Therefore, it's like land. It really is gonna be there forever. But I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know, man. Some
Yeah.
country could just create a worldwide EMP or something, solar, and then boom, there goes all your digital assets.
Cause does oh man, yeah. I mean, that is for me to go dig in and do more research, just learning about the whole idea and technology. So many questions, man.
Yeah, for sure. I think in Norway or Sweden, one of these northern countries, right? They have like an underground bunker full filled with servers and it has like Bitcoin on them. Yeah.
Cause
So
I
it's like
I know they were doing
it's
that with
basically,
like seeds, right? The plant seeds. They're
yep,
doing
they
that.
have seeds and then there's one for like digital like Bitcoin and stuff. And it's literally like private military is protecting that
Wow.
thing. So it's just like that's trippy, man. Like, I mean, so they're saying like, solar, like flash flood, like all this stuff, end of the world events, that this stuff would still continue on. Like seeds is one of them, seed bank. And then I think, did you know like the US is making one too? Or they already have one?
I didn't know
It's
that.
for the world, that's why. So
Yeah,
anyways,
it's gonna be like the new age Fort Knox. Yeah, all the digital servers.
Dude, for real.
Crap, bro, that's nuts.
Yeah, it's trippy. I mean, like that's why I'm like, I don't think or a hacker can't take down the blockchain. They can't. But I don't know. That's probably, if you told someone you can't, how much more do they want to do it now, you know?
Oh yeah, I'm sure somebody's working right now to try to do that. And
Yeah.
what comes to mind, I'm like, oh, we should. What's the companies that's making the microchips and stuff for all those servers?
Oh yeah. What's their ticker? Let me
What's their
see.
ticker?
Yeah, yeah. That's honestly, that's probably where the money is, though. You know, you gotta look at the third party company that's gonna get that contract
That
to
and
build
like
out the
lithium ion batteries, the producers for those, because all the car manufacturers are going electric, and so that's already a big thing. Just getting all the materials for that, and then the people who are building it, that's gonna boost up.
True.
Love it, man. Well, yeah,
It's
man. It's
restart.
8 o'clock now, so I call it a
Okay,
wrap,
yeah.
man.
Yeah. Good chat.
Good chat, man.
Cheers, John.
Yeah,
Thank you
have
for
a
your
good
time.
night,
Appreciate it.
guys. Thank
All right,
you.
see you guys around.
Good.
Cheers.